And we back. Quarter Life Critics with my best friend Grant. How's it going, Grant?
What's going on? How you doing?
And Patrick. What's going on, Patrick?
Not much, just a regular guy here. Patrick, nice to meet you, best friend Grant.
Yeah, I got the best friend status.
Yeah, it's average over here. It's average over here.
No, everyone's a best friend here, but we've been not in the same virtual room for a bit over a month now.
Yeah.
And so I thought real quickly before we get into this next episode, everyone can give what they've been doing. Why were we gone?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some of the highlights and lowlights of what was going on. So I can start. So I was in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, hanging out, chilling with family, and I think one of the highlights is at one point we were on a boat, this private kind of boat, doing a lot of bougie shit, and there was this Mexican guy, and he was saying, "All right, you're in for a surprise." And I said, "Okay, damn." Everyone got on the one side of the boat, and everyone, had to close their eyes. I was like, "What the hell? Are they gonna bring out cake? Are they gonna bring out, what kind of song and dance is gonna happen?" And it took a long time. We're like waiting and waiting. We're like, "What the hell is going on?" And then we opened our eyes, and they brought a sea lion on the boat. Like a big old sea lion was walking on, like doot 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 doot. And
Did you play with it?
it gave everyone a kiss. Everyone lined up, and it was trained, and it knew how to give people kisses.
Oh my god!
So I was not expecting that.
Was it like a trainer?
Yeah, like a trainer and a sea lion that they use for like other stuff, but they brought it on our boat.
That's crazy. Do you have like a video and stuff?
I got a picture. I can pass around a picture. I got it. All the other adults did not want kisses from the sea lion, but I said, "God damn it, this is never gonna happen."
I want to kiss the sea lion. Yeah, come on.
It's the only chance I get.
I'm trying to think of our version of Jungle Terry, but it's like a Mexican name in the water. But I'm struggling, and I just want to throw that idea out there. If anything, come back to me. Let me know. I think there's something there.
There's something. Quinn, did Celia get a kiss?
Yeah, she was definitely in first in line.
Oh, she wanted a kiss.
Nice. Well, I can go.
Well, I was just gonna fill in my low light was I probably gained like 13 pounds. Like vacation is my kryptonite. I mean, everything's like, why not? I'll have a full meal at lunch, full meal at dinner. Gotta go for dessert.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day too. We gotta start strong.
Yeah. So, but I feel like a lot of that was probably like beer weight, like bloated weight. Like, was it like, did you lose it quick too? Or are you in the process of losing it quick?
I'm probably still like 4 or 5 over from when I left. But yeah, it goes down quickly too. You get back in the swing of things.
You were just loaded up with bloat. Yeah.
Nice.
So Grant, what about you?
So I was in Ocala, Florida for a minute there, which is, they call it like the horse country capital of the world or something. They also call it Brick City.
That's right.
Which I forget the anecdote there, but I think there were a lot of brick buildings and there was a fire and nothing happened. I don't know, something. Quinn would know the lore of Brick City more than I do. But
I think it was more like 4 buildings in like the downtown. It was like maybe just a square of buildings.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I was there. I guess the highlight was probably, I was staying in an RV with my girlfriend, and the weather was definitely a highlight. It's nice. But we went to a place called Crystal River. It's the only place in the US where you can legally interact with manatee. And so we did that. And we went at 2 p.m., which so there wasn't a lot of manatee out, but we still swam. We saw 2 of them, and they're like gentle giants. They're absolutely massive, man. They're like 10 to 14 feet across, and they're just massive. Like,
Do you touch them?
they're rotund. I didn't touch them. You're not supposed to touch them, but then if like we went at like 6 a.m. when there's a bunch, they'll like rub up into you and stuff like that. So I would want to go back just to see him again, but because we made that trip on the way back, I noticed that 20 minutes away from Ocala, so that was like an hour away, and like 20 minutes away from Ocala, there was a Rainbow Spring State Park, and I thought, what's that about? And then I looked that up, and it's like a natural spring water to swim in. I'll look it up for our viewers here so you guys can get an idea. It was like gorgeous. And if I'm ever like have the chance to go back, I would. I never really have had the chance to like swim in any sort of natural springs or just even natural waters. Usually I'd swim in a pool and that's it, but this was like why is this not opening a new tab? Here we go. So let me share my tab here just so you guys can see. So this is you. So we were here. This is taken from like outside of not where the swimming area is. And you can see this whole swimming area. There was probably a fourth to a fifth of the people that you see here. It was not crowded. The parking lot was full, and we thought there'd be a bunch of people, but I don't know if it was because it's like winter for Florida, but there was no one really. I mean, there was probably 10 or 15 people in this whole pool area at the time.
How cold was the water?
It's 72 degrees year round, which it sounds cold, but you're in there and it feels so good. And then you get out and you're not even cold, and your endorphins are running. So it was a great time. And
yeah, the colder the water, the better you feel when you get out.
Yeah. And I did one lap from one side to the other, so I felt like Quinn. I was
a good workout.
I was fucking whoa. I was like, my muscles were killing me. I was out of breath. I was like, give me the noodle. I'm done.
I want to float.
Yeah.
Why is it the one place that it's legal? Like, is it just like a county thing? Some weird law?
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to really. I think most people look down on like interacting with any sort of wildlife or nature, like, and being disturbing. I think that I don't know why it's the only place exactly, but they've done a lot of work to make it inhabitable by manatee, and maybe it's for funding, and maybe it attracts more people to come there. But when you're not, they make you watch this whole video. It's like, do not touch the manatee. But then once you get on like the boat, they're like, yeah, the manatees are like dogs. They'll just like come up to you. And, like if they're initiating contact, like it's cool, man. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be spreading. They're big. They're probably faster than you if they want to touch you.
No, they're not. They're slow as fuck, man. They're like,
you're not looking, there's a slow shadow approaching. You think it's the sun.
Yeah. They're tubs, man. They're massive. They're like a car. They're like the size of a car.
They're cars. Any downsides there, Grant? Snafus in the trip? Road trip? Car malfunctions?
Snafus.
Trouble in Paradise?
It's like there's a high and a low of that manatee event. And since we went at 2 p.m., there was only 2, and it took us like an hour to find them. And the water was super murky because I don't know. They said like if we came that morning, it was 50 to 100.
Beautiful.
Oh, I love hearing that from the people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you would have came here a couple hours earlier.
No. No, it's true. I mean, they do come. The reason why they come into the bay is to warm up, and so once they're warm up, and once the sun's out, then they go into the Gulf of Mexico to like feed and stuff, and then they come back. So we went at 2, and they all left already for the day.
You got like the ones who overslept.
Yeah, yeah, and the problem with like not only that, but there's a bunch of boats out for this. So like you see, there's one manatee, and there's like 50 fucking people around them just trying to see the manatee, and you're like, I don't want to fucking like push over people. Really, me and Katie were just enjoying ourselves, and the just swimming. You know, that was pretty cold waters too. We had a wetsuit and everything, but we were just it was refreshing, you know. And we saw like a glimpse of the manatee, but we didn't get that close because the water was too murky too. Like, but overall, it's a cool experience. I'll have to go
Thanks
back.
for sharing there, Grant.
Wildlife's cool.
Yeah, well, you know, warm climates aside, you know, I hear some people, and you know, they like to, when it's cold, they're all or nothing. They like to dive straight in, but not into the waters, down the mountain.
Yeah, no, I went to Jackson, Wyoming. Pretty much the opposite of Florida. And Emily and I went to Jackson Hole, skied 4 days. There's a wonderfully large snowstorm, tons of, you know, powder, and we were just having a great time. It was President's Day, so like one day was crazy busy.
Dude.
Yeah. And so like we went on Monday, President's Day, and we just turned around. We're like, we're not going in here. Like it was great. It looked like Cedar Point. And the day before that's empty. So it's just so weird.
Wow.
And when you buy a pass, you get like four like tickets in 6 days. So like we're just like, oh, we'll move our schedule.
It's our skip day, yeah.
Yeah. So it turned out pretty nice. We just kind of explored the town. But skiing was wonderful. It was really hard. Like kind of narrower runs and super steep, but felt like got, you know, improved. It's a good time. Just so much fun and so beautiful. Saw some wildlife myself. Went on a little like wilderness safari in the national park there with Emily and one other couple. He was like a raft guide in the Grand Canyon who is old now and gives people rides in his crazy van. Because it's like driving there is so scary. There's all this snow. I've got like a little shitty rental car. Yeah. And you're just beep. Exactly, dude.
They don't give you a Bronco to drive around?
They had no four-wheel drive.
I heard those get stuck too.
They had no four-wheel drive cars at the rental place. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah, because everyone requests that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were out, yeah.
Well, you'd have to book. Didn't you book in advance or no? You just showed up.
I did, but even then, there was
very few. Yeah,
I see. Or it was ridiculous, and my brain just automatically filtered it out. But driving, you know, there's like you're driving on like 2 feet of snow at all time. It's crazy. But saw some moose, saw a big herd of elk, saw some beautiful sheep, some big old horns. But skiing was definitely the highlight. The lowlights, I lost my AirPod Pros in the airport.
Oh no!
Oh,
like you forgot them at like the bar or something, or you just don't know?
Just my gate, you know, B40 at the Denver airport. If you found AirPods on February 23rd, could you mail them to me, please?
The whole thing, or just the case?
Case with pods inside. I don't know what happened. I just got on the plane; they were gone.
Yeah. That's a bummer. You told me that you had them and you left them at the airport. I didn't know. I thought you meant like a while ago, but like
no, like it just happened. R.I.P.
Bummer.
But that's okay. It is worth it.
Yeah.
Well, now you can get Gen 2.
Yeah, exactly. Just
give Apple more money.
Apple.
Yeah.
I have the Gen 2 ones.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Did you lose your original ones?
I had normal AirPods. I got
you upgraded. Okay.
Which I fucking way better.
I think
a little less comfy, but I like them a lot. I also have like a MagSafe like set up on my desk, so it's nice that they're MagSafe. And then I think the other main thing, I think audio, whatever, like improved a little bit, but the main thing is you can ping the case, which I think is new. I think you could only ping the actual individual AirPods. Now the case has a speaker on it that you can ping.
That's kind of cool.
Real quick, with the AirPods, I've actually bought some aftermarket tips that are better than the silicone, so I think they're a lot more comfortable. So I can send you a link later.
Yeah. What are they called? Comply?
I think I got those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And second thing, the only thing with the Gen 2 that I liked was I think if you're do a lot of walking around the street, and if there's some alarm or like siren, it'll automatically, if you're in like transparency mode, it'll like cut that noise. But in Gen 1, it's like kill me.
Oh, has it happened to you before where you're like,
yeah, it's like just ear piercing. You're like, oh my God, that was a lot.
Damn.
So,
I noticed too, like if you are on your phone, there's like a hearing app. You can do background sounds, like you got stream. It's like built into iOS. And I think you can do something with AirPod too, where it's like kind of transparency mode. It's kind of like listening for you. I don't know if that's related, but it like measures the decibels. So if you're ever in a place, you want to see if like this concert is going to damage your ears forever.
Put in your AirPods.
Yeah.
My hearing aids.
All right. Thanks guys for sharing your stories. As you know, every episode, we have a special director to guide us through these lovely TV shows and films we watch. And I believe, if I am not mistaken, this episode, the director is no one other than my best friend, Patrick. So why don't you take it away there, Pat?
Thank you. Thank you so much. It is true. I'm the director of this episode. I chose Decision to Leave, a 2022 film. This movie meant so much to me. Sorry, I was giving like an Oscar award-winning speech, you know? I'll switch into a more natural, informal speech.
I think those speeches are very natural, very heartfelt, genuine, from the heart.
Not scripted at all.
Everyone's very concerned. I'm sure all those writers are very, no. Chat GPT, they can't write better speeches than me. No. I picked this. I heard it was snubbed at the Oscars. I thought that, Oscars didn't do such a good job last year. What do they know? So wanted to select it. I'm familiar with a couple of the director's previous movies. Old Boy is pretty good. Handmaiden is amazing. If you have not seen it, would strongly recommend it. And was excited to explore another creation from Park Chan-wook.
Nice. This was my first movie by him that I've seen.
Yeah, I've seen the two I mentioned. I think this might be my least favorite from him, but we can hold the meat of that story until later. So, okay, yeah. This movie is it's about a man investigating another man's death. He kind of mysteriously falls off a mountain while climbing, and he is sent to decide whether or not it's a suicide. The man leaves a very beautiful, mysterious widow in his passing, and kind of becomes intertwined in our main detective's life. It stars Lee Jung-hyun, Tang Wei, Park Hae-il, directors Park Chan-wook, and it was nominated for Best Foreign Film in the Golden Globes. It won, how do you say the French Film Festival? Cannes?
Yeah, Cannes.
I think so.
Cannes?
Cannes?
Cannes.
Yeah.
It was Best Director, and then it was nominated for the Best Overall Movie as well, which I thought, Oscar snub. It's a good little resume. Has a 7.3, and it made $23.2 million at the box office on a $10 million budget.
I think it's just Can.
Can.
I was like, we all just parroted the incorrect thing.
I knew I was incorrect, and you guys followed the fool. I was like, I am not saying it right. And you're like, you're good.
Yeah, just keep going.
It sounds great to me.
We're like, we know what word you're talking about, so yeah, nice. Yeah, cool. So when it ended, Patrick, you weren't excited? You didn't feel like it was...
Well, we can dissect it. Is there anything else you'd like to get into with the introduction of the film, Pat?
No, I think no. Okay. That's all I've got.
All right. I like this first segment you have in here.
Yeah, I felt like maybe you guys would. I think going off of you guys just saying, yeah, I was pronouncing can right when I was saying that, maybe you guys also would be confused as I was. Not that it was a confusing movie. I felt like
yeah.
Like I got it. Like
I mean, I got it.
Yeah,
it's about
me too.
stuff.
Just like you said.
It's about stuff.
It's complex.
I actually have a good story about this. So, this was a film. It's a Korean film. It's in Korean. Mm-hmm. I don't know, or you guys watched it, but I procured this film, right? And was watching
it.
Producer
or
something
editor?
like that. I go to the Cannes Film Festival, and Canon, Can S, and for some reason, what the copy they sent me only had Chinese subtitles. There were no English subtitles.
Dope.
And so I am.
Don't tell me you try to do this.
I am comfortable. Well,
yeah, I know you are,
my reading and speaking are I feel comfortable doing that. So
advanced.
I said, you know what? I'm gonna try doing this film, and it was about 10 minutes, 15 minutes in. I knew I was way in over my head because this is a film you can't really just rely on like the plot to know what's going on. There are ways people say words. It's a lot of dialogue. It's a lot of mystery and figuring out things. And if you miss a sentence, so you're watching a TV show, you miss someone's talking, someone says something over that line. It's not that big of a deal, but I feel like if you missed a line in this film, it was pretty detrimental and caused you to not understand what the hell was going on. And
especially the beginning. The beginning was so fast. You're like, what the fuck? Like
there's so many different plots too.
And there's so many different.
Which one do I have to pay attention to?
5 characters introduced. There's they show a scene with the head detective and the junior detective, and you're like, okay, I'm trying to catch it. They're interrogating someone, and then they're like, yeah, we should investigate the disappearance of this guy. You're like, wait, what? Who's what? I thought you were just in, and then they went to something else, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
I couldn't even look at the visual part because my eyes are just glued to the text. I'm like, it's Chinese class, glued, man. So I ended up watching this film. Well, I did a second fake rewatch with English subtitles, so I went quickly and jumped around a bit.
You went dubbed?
No, I did not go dubbed, but I did do English subs.
You guys didn't watch
at the 15-minute mark?
No, I watched the whole thing in Chinese subtitles.
And you rewatched
and
it
then
all?
I kind of rewatched parts that I wanted more clarification on.
How far off were you, would you say?
I was pretty far off on some things.
I would have never guessed.
For instance,
what is this? What you're 15 minutes in, you're like, I'm completely lost. Let's just stick it out for
you start
hours.
You just don't know you're on the wrong path sometimes because
he's making up his own story.
Your eyes were glued to the
Well, for instance, there was one scene where the woman, and we're gonna have to, I don't know anybody's names. The wife the main character, the Chinese girl, she is talking to the main detective guy.
Song.
And who?
Song.
Whose Song? The girl, the guy?
Main
Chinese girl.
Song.
Chinese.
Okay, she's talking to the main detective guy. And at some point in her sentence, she's like, I did it. You know, and I think she was referring to the wounds that she gave herself.
Oh.
You know, like I gave myself these wounds, but in my head I kind of missed what was said before, and I was like, she just confessed to the murder. Damn.
And you were only staring at the subtitles, so you're like, she did it, and she's like pointing at her leg.
Yeah, something like that.
Watching.
There
You
was
can be talking
one.
about anything.
I'm surprised you made it through 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh,
'Cause I thought the plot was not the strong. There's not why this movie was so strong. The cinematography was incredible, and the way it was like, I think we described Click in a similar way. With it was a parable. I felt this was like a parable or a fairy tale. It was like, it was very thematic and motifs, and it's almost like biblical, you know, and it's about like it's not really about this guy and what's happening with this girl. It's like a temptation, and he's going through hard things with his wife, and like it's like a romantic kind of thriller and lessons there. I don't know if you didn't. I'm just surprised you made it through then. You know, I feel
It was
like
a lot. Another funny one that came up was because I would double check with Celia on some of these things, and one she was laughing at me nonstop on was at one point the song girls kind of singing kind of a lullaby or talking to that detective while he's like closing his eyes or something, and she's like, imagine you're a jellyfish or something. It's a shui mu. But I saw the shui character, and then I guess I missed the next one, and I thought it was shui niu, which means like water buffalo. like it just doesn't, I don't know, you just went the whole movie thinking like, damn, she called him a water buffalo.
And she's like, you're a water buffalo, you have no face.
Then I was like, damn, that sure, maybe it's a Korean thing, you know. You just start like rationalizing things to yourself that might make sense. In a way, that's some part of life. Some people tell you, like we said with the film festival, someone just says it, and you're like, okay, he said it, so it must have been true.
I knew this was going to be a good segment because I was so confused, and I'm glad Quinn was even more. He
confused himself.
The most confusing manner, you know, with a very confusing movie. You just
It was not the one to start with. So yeah, it was a confusing film, and it took a while. It definitely, you know, going through it the second time, not the whole film, but you know, cleared up some things. Are there still parts you have no idea? You're like, I give up. I don't, or why that might have happened.
I don't know if it's like a specific thing. It just felt like there were all these little like side stories, and I don't know how they didn't really have a point, you know, like all the activities he did with his assistant detective, his relationship with like the analyst, his pursuit of
the other murder guy.
I mean, those just build up his character, but they're just kind of like
middle. It's weird. The middle of the story was kind of weird with that, like her working with him as kind of a detective. I thought something was gonna turn. But then that was all just a ruse so she could burn her evidence, right?
I guess so, kind of.
I mean,
I mean, I think it's some forbidden love. You know, I don't think the only motive was, all right, I'm like tricking this person in order to get away with this crime. I think they're both infatuated with each other and express it in very unconventional ways. Yeah, it's you don't see that in real life a lot. It's not as
Yeah, they
black
didn't
and
feel like
white.
real characters, like Grant was talking about the parable. It's like I couldn't really imagine anyone doing this, you know. It just was like a lot of strange activity.
Yeah, it makes me feel. I mean, it's been a minute since I watched Old Boy, but I remember I think having similar feelings of like this feels larger than what's going on, but I can't quite pinpoint, what lesson or what I'm supposed to be like gaining from this film.
Yeah.
Because that one was like, I mean, some crazy shit happens. You're like, oh my, wow, that was nuts.
Grotesque.
Very grotesque.
I thought this was going to be very sexual and very gory, and it was neither. So I don't know if I was surprised.
Very emotional. Very
Yeah, it was the other side.
a lot of desire going on with you desire. And in the end, I guess
Slips away.
it's a tragic sort of ending. He doesn't get her. He can never be with her. She is always the eye of, I mean, it's tough. It's like you're trying to identify motives for each individual, and he has more clear motives. I mean, he's trying to be with her. He's attracted to her because of why? Because of her beauty, because of her, I don't know.
She's the opposite. So his wife is like very conventional, very like safe. You know, she's like telling him they should have sex
She's
because
like
it's good for his health.
she's a scientist. She's like calculated, conditional. Yeah.
And she's pure emotion, you know. She's just like caught up in this world where she's kind of foreign. She's doing things that are forbidden because they feel right, you know, with her grandma, but it's still like she's not ashamed of it. And
Yeah, it's like interesting to see these two women are living in the same world almost. Like they are living totally different. Like their world values could not be more different, more opposite, right? Like you have the wife who's like not only cold and calculated, but she's talking about like sex and like that too, like something that is the arguably like the most emotional act that can happen between two humans. She's like, we need to have this once a week because it's good for our health, and not
even if we hate each other.
Even if we hate each other, it has nothing to do with the health of their marriage or the relationship. It has to do with like their actual like well-being of like a human, and versus Song or Siu Ray. She's her grandma was done with it, and so she did an assisted suicide, and because it felt right, and that is probably ethically, morally wrong if you're a doctor or caretaker, most people would say.
And even on the other side, Grant, the detective, I don't know his name, and Siu-Ray, I don't think they ever even talked about sex or was like, explicitly shown or anything, but they like desired each other so much, So it's like just the absence is creating something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know even how I took that grandmother or mother scene. I thought there was a bit of kind of unreliable narration going on with
definitely
different characters, and I wasn't sure what was real at times.
I think the cinematography probably plays a part.
Yeah, when you're jumping around and going into people's heads, basically.
Yeah. What was quickly, just because we're on this, like the fentanyl piece, what was the other? Oh, she ended up, because the fentanyl reoccurred and she ended up taking it herself, right?
No. So there were.
No. Yeah. Never mind. But what happened with the fentanyl?
So I think she gave her mom fentanyl, and then she had some left over. And basically gave it to that hitman's or that slappy guy's
Oh,
his mom
yeah,
at her facility.
Mm-hmm. To get the
yeah,
guy killed.
Because once she died, then that guy freaked out and went and killed her husband.
yeah.
Yeah.
Her other husband.
In the pool.
Yeah.
In the pool. But she cleaned it up to make it nice.
So
She
weird.
Was very thoughtful.
She wanted to present a nice scene to the detective.
Yeah, it's just these back and forth things that are like, you just mess with your head. It's just a whirlwind of love and emotions, and
Yeah.
none of it. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, and they're opposites in a way, and so they attract, but they can never really attract because they're truly too opposite. And I don't know. I'm not. I feel like there's a lot of prior films, or like a lot of times things reference other things, and there's tropes of certain things. But on this kind of film, I'm lost, man. I'm like,
Yeah, and so like for me, I haven't seen any other of this guy's work, but I was like after that ended and being have not, I studied film very very briefly, like a year tops, maybe a year and a
pre-film.
half. Yeah, there was pre-film major. But I really enjoyed like some of the classes, and you got like a good foundation of film theory, but hasn't really expanded on it. Like watching this was super it makes me really want to dive into the rest of his work, because it was so like the cinematography is just crafted in a level that I did not know was possible or still happening in the modern day. Like you see like the films you study that are masterpieces in film history, you're like, oh my God, this is such a craft for this director. Like they're taking a scalpel and everything's so intentional. I felt like watching this was the same way. It's just so incredibly thought through and thorough, and I want to watch the rest of his work. So maybe Handmaid's next, but it was like a breath. It like reinvigorated something in me in terms of film theory. So
it was so beautiful.
Thank you for the recommendation. Yeah, it was gorgeous. And yeah, so much cool cinematography, and transitions were incredible. Even like small things. I want to make sure I'm not stepping on anyone's toes. Like one small thing was like even the texting. Smartphones were really I don't know why, and maybe we could theorize if we want to, like why smartphones were so prevalent in here, and that technology. I really highly doubt it's product placement. I don't think
the translation.
Translation.
Well, I think there's a couple things.
Watch and being connected, and I thought the one scene that I just thought was it was just really refreshing and just small, but really the small detail I noticed was when he was texting Song and about one of her people she took care of, and she would reply, and then he starts to type, and then she would reply again. He would delete it, and then he started typing. She would reply again, and then he would delete it, and then he starts to type, and she would reply again. And then finally, he just deleted and said, "Okay." And I was like, "That's like." He captured the storytelling of iMessage, which he shows it. And like I've never seen that captured before in a film. You just see these stupid texts. It's like it's very minor, but the fact that he's gone into the detail to make the texting feel so, it's like the realism of the texting was there. You're like, yeah, that's a text conversation I've had, or I've seen that behavior when texting someone. It's just, I don't know, that
especially with like a lover. You're like, but you're still like, it's early. There's some anxiety, like what she's saying, or I'm excited. It's like it's this mix of emotions that's like kind of adds to the movie. And then like at the end, doesn't really matter. He just says okay. And
Yeah.
like it's all like confusing and weird, but I feel like that's just the movie was just like a well done execution of like strange details and like a lot of emotions
Yeah. And romance.
and lots of romance.
Lots of romance.
He was definitely texting a lot quicker than
Mhm.
she was, from the subtitles. And then, yeah, it just sounded like they were high school boyfriend, girlfriend. Just like something's happening. He's like, should I come? I don't know.
It was so
And
awkward.
he's going like 100 miles per hour.
He's a cop. Cool. I think we've gotten past the confused and we're actually untangling the triangle right now. So that was my second segment, talking about the love arc, the love triangle, and just kind of the dynamics. But I think we already kind of.
Is there anything else I would like to
Yeah.
add here?
I've said my piece. Grant,
So this is
go ahead.
this just I know we all have the script in front of us, but I don't think we
I don't know
this
what
is
you're talking about.
It's the
untangling
relationship.
yeah, go ahead.
The
director.
it's the love triangle between Detective Heijin, his wife, contrasted by his interest in Song Si-rae. So, just that's the main focus of the movie is the romance, kind of the strained relationship with his wife. He's not there all the time, but then he kind of moves back. They go to a new city together. But in the back of his mind is always this, burning desire for, Song
Yeah.
Si-rae.
I will say the beginning, I thought it was really creepy and he's being weird as fuck, like with this woman, like she's a murder suspect and you're buying her expensive sushi.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's fate. It's soul. It's your soulmate. It's like love at first sight. I mean, I think.
But I didn't feel like she was reciprocating at all. She put on her wedding ring at one point. Her wedding ring was off. And
well, I don't think her
after the sushi.
I don't know if this is the right word, but love language is to reciprocate those emotions. I mean, she kind of gets her fulfillment by being this target.
Unattainable, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And,
yeah, that's her way of flirting. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's interested, and then it's a chase.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is a chase.
And
That's
a never-ending chase. We find out.
So she says like the moment she fell in love with him was when he said he no longer loved her, and that was like when he like threw away the phone evidence to get rid of it, incarcerate her, but he like was never gonna see her again, and she was like that the chase is over, and now I really love him.
Yeah.
What about the dress?
I don't know.
Blue-green dress.
I don't know about. I'm confused about the significance of
We'll go back to
the
segment
blue-green
one.
dress.
Yeah. So the dress that turns, it's like blue that turns green or something, right?
Yeah, I think that was the gist, was that he saw it as green, but everyone else saw it as blue. Which I could take at the service level as kind of, he just sees her in a different light than everyone else. Everyone sees one depiction and he sees something else. Is one way of thinking about it.
What's another way? Do you give another way?
I thought
I thought you were introducing it, be like,
Yeah,
one way
same.
to do is this, but yeah.
I thought it was some like because wasn't on the day that her husband was killed,
So
and she cleaned it up.
yeah, but also when they met, he ran into her at the market,
Yeah,
with his wife, and they recounted it, and his wife said the dress was blue, and he said it was green, and she's like, wasn't it blue? And then so the wife saw it a different color, and then
again in like the picture.
I think we're on the right track. I just Googled something, and it's like the Decision to Leave's costume designer just said in an interview, yeah, I think it represents different people's what does it say? I think it expresses how Seal Ray is viewed through different people's perspectives. So,
Okay.
mystery
Good job,
solved.
Quinn. There wasn't
Yeah,
another way
I
to look at
was,
it.
but then you spend way more time like maybe there's another reason.
Mm-hmm.
What does blue mean in Korean?
Well, speaking of dresses and beautiful scenes, let's bust out some of the clips that we collected.
Let's do it.
So the prompt that I gave these two gentlemen and myself was, let's capture something that highlights the beautiful cinematography. You know, Grant mentioned some of the cool transitions, some of the sweet small details, just something that you guys thought was beautiful. Quinn, why don't you share your clip?
Sure.
Quinn's got 2 clips. He loved it so much.
Yeah, well, they were kind of a similar. Oops, that's the
Wrong
boomer
button.
I hit the boomer button.
Boomer.
They were kind of similar, and I wanted to do them both. So they were just basically the interview scenes between the detective and Seal Ray. So I think it's pretty cool. You can see that in this little clip, the camera keeps switching between like she's in focus and his reflection is in focus, and then they just keep switching. So they're never both in focus.
Mhm.
That's
Because
really cool.
to represent,
wow.
this forbidden love sort of thing going on.
Interesting. Wow,
And
that's
so
really cool.
these scenes, these interview scenes, there's so many screens and mirrors and reflections, and you can really feel it while watching the film that like, they're, from further research, they're not supposed to be together. Like these people there's a separation between them. So let me pull up the second video.
It's a very cool clip, Quinn. I had no idea. That's a great find.
Yeah.
It's very visually appealing. You're like, this is a cool way to do an interview through the screen of a monitor that's going on, and then it just kind of pans to other things. So it rarely puts the two of them kind of together.
Wow. Yeah, it's like it's awesome because it feels like the more you dive into the film, the more it'll give back, and I feel like that's rare even with.
His camera was glitching out there.
Yeah, sorry, you were turning into a messed up puzzle.
Just turned into a glitch, man.
Yeah.
All right, you're good now.
I just feel like I don't know. I don't want to like. It's just maybe it's just me. I haven't seen a really well thought through film by an American director for a while. I feel like what's in the theaters
in terms of cinematography, or
like that's awesome. I love shit like that. Like they're using, cinematography to be symbolic, to show you a theme, to it's, and maybe I just missed things like that, but I like that shit. It was cool.
So cool.
Wow, a lot of good response in the clips. Nice, very beautiful. All right,
Grant,
who's next?
Grant, you're up.
Okay, cool. This one is a scene of the last, and this is the last zoom out. So this is when after what's his name? June. Hi, June. The head detective is looking for Song, and you can see, and the director confirmed this. This is the waves already. It's supposed to be a woman. So
I didn't. Nice.
That's the portrait of a woman.
Yeah.
You can see the lips so clearly. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's her, and she at this point she's probably already buried. So she is kind of the ocean.
That's pretty sweet. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Such a cool movie.
I will say that at the end of the film there, when he's kind of frantically looking at the beach, that felt a little disjointed, and I kind of confirmed it following up that it was like filmed at like 3 different beaches. It just didn't look like the same beach to me. Like he was kind of going from different parts of the beach,
Wasn't he
And
standing on her like at the end? Like
at the end,
literally.
yeah, he was standing
Yeah,
on
okay.
her. That was only my minor little quip. That was like, it just felt like a different area. It didn't like
Yeah.
the drone shot looked a lot different than that beach looked a lot different than where.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I like that. I like the woman's silhouette. As soon as you started explaining it, I was like, oh fuck, there it is. There it is.
You can see it so clearly, yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice it either during watching it.
All right.
And then my clip for last. So my clip is pretty early during the surveillance of his love interest slash primary suspect. So I think this kind of ties into what Quinn was saying. They cannot be together, but he so very much wants to be with her. He's literally like imagining himself in her home, but it's not like in a creepy way. It's just like in a nearness, like kind of fate way, like just drawn to her in all these mundane and everyday activities, you know? He wants to get to know the boring.
Yeah, he just observes her. He just gets his little binoculars and watches her do her thing.
And I think it would be so very easy to have like a normal, like, you know, surveillance just from the car. I think that's just a much more impactful way of doing it.
Yeah, and I like even just the sense of like depicting scouting someone out in binoculars like that. Like it was just really creative as well. Like he wanted to be in the room, so I think it's showing that, and it's also like it's a creative way instead of just going back to the binoculars, back to here. It's like he's observing so close as if he's in the room anyways with her, you know, and so it also like tells the scouting in a good way. I don't know. It's an interesting way to portray that.
Yeah. I was a big fan. And there were just so many scenes with like nice transitions. It was just such beautiful colors in the middle of the movie, kind of like between like the first, like in intermission when they're kind of like having their romance blossom. There were such beautiful colors everywhere. I was kind of considering getting one of those shots, but did not. Just a very beautiful movie. All right. Moving on to the report card. We're going to put we're going to test it out.
Put our money where our mouth is.
Exactly. Let me see. I can share.
Who's the teacher today? Who's handing out the report card?
I can share.
It's going.
Okay.
It's going.
So we've got setting, characters, and plot.
Nice.
Can you guys
Tried
see?
and true. Simple. Yeah, I see it on the screen.
Simple. All right.
Can we include cinematography in here? We can add another one or something.
We can change setting.
Okay.
That's what we do here. We make our own rules.
Yeah.
Cinematography.
I think it's we've talked about it so much. Cinema's fine.
You're like, I want to just give it the points it deserves.
We talk about so much, you know.
Keep that train going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Grant, you're up.
Grant,
Four.
Mr.
Cinematography.
Four.
I am shocked. Quinn.
Yeah, I'll hit it with a 4 too.
Grant, you don't need to explain.
Okay.
You guys can explain if you want.
No, I think that there's, as we've seen, we're all pulling up stuff that we're like, whoa, I didn't even know. Like it's chock full of cool cinematography. So go and watch it and find examples for yourself. Viewers,
Agree.
watchers.
I did
It's
a
the best part of the film.
By far. All right, characters. We're just gonna go same order. Grant, Quinn, myself.
This one, I think I'll go 3. I like this. I mean, the characters were, I think, more of an archetype, and I was still enthralled in like there were stakes and I wanted to know what was going to happen. It's not like I didn't care about the characters. I was very interested in what was going to happen between them. And it might have been unrealistic, but I think I just view it more as an archetype sort of thing. So I was like the characters. 3 stars.
It's tough because I think the characters and the plot are sort of tied together. I mean, I guess you could say that about most films, but it seems like a sort of fate determined movie where if you didn't have these characters, the plot wouldn't happen. I'm going to go with I will go with 3 for the characters. I think what they represent is is better than average, and that's what I'll say for the characters.
I'm going to give it a 2.5. I thought some of the characters were forgettable. I felt like maybe there were too many. I don't know. Something about I cared a lot about the main characters, but outside of them, it felt like there were a lot of these little characters that were recurring, but then I didn't care about them that much. I wanted to just get back to the main story, kind of.
Yeah.
All right, plot.
Am I first?
Yep, same order.
Indeed.
All right. I'll go 2 here. Kind of continuing that thought process is I thought there was some forgettable pieces, and I think the middle of the film kind of took you on a journey that didn't lead it didn't seem necessary to tell this story of lovers. And especially the middle with like them solving crimes together, like nothing really seemed to come out of that. But maybe, and the way the cinematography presents it, it's like it's so
what did you mean by solving crimes together?
They like she was helping him in his apartment with his unsolved crimes.
She was trying to get all the pictures taken down.
Yeah, so you could sleep.
Oh, well, that's not. I mean, not helping with the cases, but like, I don't think that had any effect on like the. So he had pictures of unresolved things on his wall, and she just burned them because.
No. Well, that was one. That was she burned her, I think, to get rid of evidence. They showed like he was explaining the story of that one gangster and his girlfriend. They showed a picture of the girlfriend, and then they flashed to what actually happened of catching the guy.
After she said something that like re-inspired him to look at it in a different direction.
Yeah, it seemed like they spent months together, like in love solving crimes, which now that I'm saying out loud, it's like it was a little fever dream-esque, but maybe that's what their love was. It's like so many things. It felt almost non-chronological, and you couldn't really piece apart what was happening. Was he solving the crime? Like how long were they talking about the crime? He was kind of explaining the cases while they were happening, or while they were catching them, or solving them. So I don't know. I think the 2 stars is reinforced by this discussion right now. It's like I think he could have done a better job.
I don't know what you're talking about. Still, I'm like trying to I know they went from like being. There is you don't know how much time has passed between a lot of these things, and then they like move. They like eventually.
He moves to a different police department.
Yeah, after he helps her cover up the thing, and
So 2 stars. Like I think 2 stars and this is plot and for clarity purposes. I think I wouldn't say that this brought down the film and in any way, even though I'm just giving it 2. It's like you're not watching for the plot. The plot's not that strong, and it's a little like emotional and hard to follow, fever dream like, a lot of colors and cinematography. You don't really know what's happening, but I think that was intentional.
I don't know. His other movies, the plot is just as good as cinematography. That's why I don't like this movie as much as the other ones.
Gotcha.
So it's like, wow, it like,
were his other films just
But
as
it's a different
dreamlike
topic.
too? Like,
I
were they
mean-
just as dreamy? Like,
not so kind of.
okay. Because I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there
I think
is
that, I mean, they're
some
different
purpose-
subject matters. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough. I think it's tough to make a comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just like it's being carried by the cinematography, but I think it's still detracting from the overall quality of the film.
That's fair.
I'm gonna go 2.5. Less strong, less impactful than the characters. But at the same time, I think some crazy, confusing shit had to happen because the characters themselves are, confused and at odds with each other. So kind of fits the format, but maybe could have been better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll go 2.5 as well. I felt like it wasn't like a super fresh plot. I don't know.
And did
It
you
felt-
watch this
it just
dubbed?
felt
You
okay.
said, Pat?
I was just joking. No, I watched it
Would've had
subbed.
to slap ya.
I don't know if there's a dubbed version. Is there?
Yeah, I don't, imagine there's
Yeah.
This soon? Maybe not.
yeah. No,
Um,
it was an okay plot. It was average, but I think it was overshadowed, like being carried by the beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
It was just okay. I don't know.
Okay. Here, what? And this might be a cop out, but what
Mhm.
if this was purposeful? That we all kind of saw, since so many things were floating around, it's inevitable that every single person watches this and sees it in their own light, much like the blue dress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's so
yeah.
much
What he
to
said.
focus on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're
Like the blue
debating
dress.
on what, over like the blue dress. We're debating what
Yeah.
happened, but really,
Mhm.
it's like, I know I saw it this way. No, I saw it this way. I don't know.
It's a
kinda
dream.
cop
You
out.
see
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, it's very dreamlike. Ethereal, is that a word that just
Mhm.
means dreamlike? Yeah. Ethereal.
Ethereal or ethereal?
Ethereal.
Ethereal.
I think they're two different words.
Grant wants PH.
I think he wants.
And it lasts for very
Oh, wait.
ephemeral.
Oh no, I guess you're right.
What does ethereal mean?
I just have
Lasting for a
list.
very short time, and ethereal
Yeah.
is extremely delicate and light in a way that seems too perfect for this world.
Good job.
Thanks, Google. Thanks, ChatGPT.
Sure.
That's a pretty good report card. I don't know if we've ever had have we had one that's been 4 stars across a category before?
I think so.
I don't think so, because I was looking at all those 4 stars. I was like, that's a lot of stars in a row. I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but maybe.
I think
Maybe-
someone probably went 3.5.
Maybe characters for
Can
Pirates
someone
of the
clip
Caribbean.
it?
Chat, can you take care of that?
Jack, can you fact check us, please?
Please.
Okay, I've got one more segment for you boys.
Ooh.
It's the secret segment. It's the proof is in the pudding. Grant requested. He was so stern with me
Uh-oh.
that we need an Oscar segment. He said,
Oh,
"It's
yeah.
Oscars week. It's Oscars week. What do you have Oscar segment?"
Uh-huh.
So the proof's in the pudding, boys. I checked out Vegas odds for favorites of 5 Oscar categories, and
Oh,
I'm
wow.
putting you against each other. We have to pick. You have to pick the favorite, for these categories. We're supposed to be better than these critics.
All right.
You should be able to get
In
Vegas
5
odds.
categories.
Vegas odds.
And there's a
Wait,
catch.
how much are we throwing
There's
down?
a catch.
Yeah, what's the catch?
If you pick the least favorite, you lose a point. So it's you either get 1
So if
point
you really
to get the favorite.
fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how
you're-
do you? Oh, okay. So we're picking off the odds. All right.
Mhm. All right.
Wait,
so I'm gonna
but
share.
what does the odds have to do with anything?
They are the results. It's not by the actual results that
Yeah.
come
So
out. It's just about the
they've-
odds. We're
yeah, I have the
picking.
nominees.
He's not going to tell us the favorites.
Oh.
All right. So
Wait, are the Oscars not happened yet?
No,
it's
they're
on
next.
Sunday.
they're
So
next
these are the
week.
odds on the nominees. Who's
Yeah,
most
yeah,
likely to be?
Okay, I got you.
So it's us against Vegas, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna kind of
Wow,
write this
that's-
I
down
like it.
and then see, how give us a little performance review.
Do
So it's me
me-
versus Grant.
Do
and-
we do it silently or do we?
No, you guys just pick, or yeah,
So we'll pick. We'll each pick one. I'm guessing, and then
yeah.
we either get a point. My goal is to beat Grant, and if I pick the lowest one, then I lose a point.
Yeah,
I
you just have to
can
pick
I
the
go
favorite.
first? Can I go first?
Yeah, you guys can
Sure.
pick the same thing too.
Sure.
Okay.
Go first.
Quinn doesn't like. Quinn, no, you go first.
No. You already called it. I want to see what your
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
this. So this is the Vegas odds.
Vegas odds.
Whatever
for-
you found. Okay.
Yeah. My sources say it at the end.
Okay. Because that might make a little bit of a difference. I'm gonna say the same thing as Grant. I think it's very pro.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
You guys both have a point. Funnily enough,
Sweet.
these were all tied with the lowest odds.
With the worst Avatar, the way in the water.
Is that rare?
What was that?
The top is that rare?
Maybe not because there's
Whoa.
so many categories. Oh, sorry. I
Okay.
went past it. So best actor, because the other one, there's so
Yeah.
many movies.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. None of the other ones only have one.
Mm-hmm.
So best actor, we've got the guy from Elvis. I don't know what Living is. Bill Nighy. Don't know what that is. Brendan Fraser, The Whale. Everyone cried for him. Yay. Colin Farrell, with the hyped Banshees of Inisherin, or Paul Mescal from.
No biases, please. There was no hype or no hype. Please just.
I'm just the
neutrally
announcer.
select.
Please. I'm reading off
Please
the
make your
script.
selections, sir.
Yeah, you're going first.
Are you
I
stalling?
can go. I can go. Should I go first
Thinking.
again?
If you have an answer, I'm thinking.
I'm going Brendan Fraser. I think everyone likes a comeback story. Give him some.
I'm gonna go with Colin Farrell.
Drum roll.
Oh,
Brendan
God damn it.
Fraser.
Oh, let's go.
All right, Grant 2, Quinn 1.
Shit, and all these other ones are gonna be tough.
Best Actress 2023. Is it Ana de Armas from Blonde, Andrea Riseborough to Leslie,
I don't know.
Kate
these people.
Blanchett from Tar, Michelle Williams. So you don't know women, but you know men, Grant?
Grant, it's International Women's Day. Come on. For
Is
Christ's
it?
sake. It
Or
is.
Michelle Yeoh from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I'm gonna go with Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, me
because
too.
I think everything is gonna be
Sizzling.
sided towards that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
There's 2. That wasn't supposed to be there.
I was close. My second guess on it.
All right, so you got 3-2. Grant is still in
Damn
the
it.
lead.
He's sweeping me.
Best documentary. Is it A House Made of Splinters? All That Breathes. All the Beauty in the
Wait,
Bloodshed.
Fire of Love was
Fire of Love.
Fire of
was
Love. Fire
nominated.
of Love. We watched that movie.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't nominated. Or wait, which?
I don't know.
Well, it had odds, so I think it was.
So I think it was nominated. I'm gonna go with All That Breathes. I don't know. I've never heard of it. It sounds like it's got a good name.
I'm gonna go with All the Beauty and the Bloodshed because I don't know either.
Oh,
Okay, well, you guys are just playing it safe.
Navalny. Is that the
Oh.
top one?
Yeah,
What is that
What's that
about?
about?
couldn't tell you,
It's
but
like
I can look it up for
Russian-
you.
It's a Russian political film. Russian opposition leader.
Oh, it's about the
Alexei
guy who got
Navalny.
poisoned.
Yeah, and the events related to his poisoning.
That's probably kind of cool.
All right.
Have you guys seen the pictures of that guy before and after the poisoning?
No.
Oh my god, dude, he looks like he should be dead. That's what it looks like. It looks like he's a corpse. It's really actually tragic.
Did
You
Putin
guys should-
poison him?
Like 3 times.
Oh,
Oh man.
damn.
All right. Best international film. All Quiet on the Western Front. Close. EO. The Quiet Girl. I just put this one because, we just watched The Snub. So which one's better?
Best international film. I'm gonna go with Close. Because it's
Yeah, that's a good guess.
I'll go with the EO.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Oh.
tied.
Nice.
Great. EO yourself.
Yeah.
Kind of
have
like
you guys heard of any of these?
All Quiet on the
Quiet
Western
on the
Front
Western
might
Front.
sweep.
What is that
It's literally,
about?
it's for World War I from the German perspective, but it's supposed to be brutal. But it's literally nominated for everything. Either Everything Everywhere All at Once or this is gonna sweep.
All right.
Okay.
That's it. So you
It's a
guys
tie.
tied. Yeah, yay.
How? Damn. Well, we'll have
Do
to
you have a
break this
tiebreaker? you can think of,
tiebreaker.
Mr. Director? I know this is putting you on the spot.
Maybe you could read out. Nah, I don't know. We did best actor, best actress, best animated film. If you remember your source,
Yeah, here, let me pull it up.
I'm not saying that because I know anything. I'm just trying to think of what we've looked at in the past.
Yeah, here, let me pull it up.
Toy Story 5.
Yeah.
Final
And
answer.
I'm curious what kind of animated films were nominated.
Okay, so I'll give you guys. So you guys want it? That's the
Just
one.
give us like 5 titles, and then we'll pick one. Because I mean, we have to get to the bottom of this.
Mhm.
Can't let Grant.
Fucking EO, man.
Yo, knew that was
All right.
a loser.
You guys ready? There are 5.
Yeah. All right. 5. All right.
Yeah. Starting with Marcel the Shell. Puss in Boots.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm logging in.
he's locked in.
Turning Red. The Sea Beast. And Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Well, I can't make it a tie. Grant, that's Puss in Boots 1.
Locked
The
in.
Last Wish.
Oh, that's Puss in Boots 2. Oh man. What? Can you read
Yeah,
them
the
again?
one that just came out when they traditionally don't give out Oscars for movies.
I don't know. I
that
didn't know if they came
years
out with like
ago.
another one.
Holy shit, this guy is not gonna win. If this is our expert, we're fucked.
Yo, I'm just trying to.
Pinocchio, Marcel the
Yeah,
Shell,
Go Pinocchio. That's a good guess. It's
Puss in
Guillermo
Boots.
del Toro.
What about
Turning Red,
what about
The Sea
Marcel? I'm not gonna pick Marcel the Shell. I'll pick Pinocchio. I think that's a good one.
You should Marcel the Shell.
Pinocchio.
It's
On my
Pinocchio
own. It's Pinocchio.
by a mile too.
Oh.
I told you that. Fuck.
Damn.
Yep, you can only blame
Dude,
yourself.
I was close to picking a Marcel the Shell.
That was better than Puss in Boots, honestly.
Wow.
Oh, I
Those
remember.
are
Oh, I actually remember
so
seeing
good.
a trailer for this movie
Mhm.
because I was really
Pinocchio?
freaked out about what it was.
Marcel the Shell or Pinocchio?
Marcel the Shell.
Well, hold
Actually,
on,
the full
boys.
name is
Let's-
Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
Yes, I didn't. That was a mouthful. So that is all for that we have today for Decision to Leave. We're already running a bit over, but it was a bunch of fun. We have one last thing before we go. Next episode's director. It is Quinn McHale.
Whoa, it's me. I'd like to take this time to thank my family and friends. Okay, no. All
running out
right,
of
well,
time. Speed it up.
we were talking about Oscars, and I realized it'll probably be a little late. And because we couldn't get to it last week, so we're gonna try and do one film. I think we've already seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's okay. I want to broaden my
I haven't seen it.
taste. You haven't seen
It's
it?
really
Well,
good. You should
you
watch
should
it.
you
Grant.
should watch it just to compare other films.
You guys should watch Puss in Boots.
Well, we can watch that.
I will.
But we're gonna watch the Banshees of Inisherin, which is the other. I
Colin
think
Farrell.
was second or third in maybe those Vegas odds, because I think Top Gun Maverick may have been up there, and Everything
It was
Everywhere
second.
All at Once second. So I'd like to compare. Maybe Grant can do a little double feature. See which one brings some talking points to next week. What deserves Best Picture? Because I don't know, very similar to. I mean, same actors as In Bruges.
You want me
Seems
to
a lot
watch
different.
2 movies?
I do.
In
You gotta
2 weeks?
you gotta carve out some time
This guy.
and
Your
cozy
speech
on
is
up.
over.
My speech is over. We're gonna watch that, and I'm gonna see which is how upset I will be at any sort of awards given this weekend. So
It's Avatar: Way of Water.
way of the water. Come get your award.
You're
Is that
tall.
how they talk in that movie?
I don't know, kind of.
They're
Way of
surfer
the
bros.
water?
now.
Way of the water. You must.
Wait, what? Is it Hawaiian?
There's kind of some.
Shaka.
They go to the Surfer Bro Island,
They do.
which you
Everyone's,
didn't
like,
even know
broad-chested.
existed.
This doesn't sound good, like a good movie.
It was the exact same as the first, just new environment.
Nice.
Some cool fight scenes.
Also in the first one, but scene for scene.
So,
All right, so let's watch that next.
Yes.
Next
Thank you.
week.
next week, we're watching Banshee.
The Banshees of Inisherin, I think is how it's pronounced. But I will double check that for next time.
That's an excellent suggestion, Quinn. I'm excited to join us in this next chapter. Namaste.
All right. Namaste. I will see you guys next time with Banshees of Inisherin.
Peace.
Peace.